Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the month of December. To celebrate this month that has Christmas, I think it'll be a joy to celebrate it by watching some Christmas movies and Christmas themed episodes. And what better way to celebrate it than with a fluffy, furry little friend. Ain't that right, Rusty? Okay, let's watch some Christmas movies. Hey little buddy, what you got there? Nine Dog Christmas? There's a movie with an actual title like this? Where'd you even get this anyway? You're not gonna tell me? Are you being quiet and secretive because it has dog in the title? It doesn't matter anyway, but still, what is this movie?
Well, there's not much information you're going to get out of me for this one. Aside from the fact that the only actor you'll recognize from this movie is James Earl Jones, there's not a lot of information on this little Christmas flick here. It just ever so happens to be another one of those rare, hard-to-find objects that I stumble across, just like Solo to Robo Red the Hunter and the Emperor's New Groove video game. Lack of information or not, will this movie be one of those unknown Christmas titles to watch during the month of December? Will this be just like Solo to Robo in the Emperor's New Groove video game where they're great, rare titles that you have to find a copy somewhere, somehow?
Well, let's find that out, shall we? For my final review of the year... Oh, hold on one second.
Let's take a look at Nine Dog Christmas. The movie begins with the narrator, voiced by James Earl Jones, doing what narrators typically do, by introducing us to two dogs here roaming through the garbage for scraps, as dogs would typically do.
Can you hurry it up, Tank?
I can't hurry any faster, Snowplow.
Wait, the sheepdog is called Snowplow? Giving a dog the name like Snowball and even his friend's name Tank I can understand, but Snowplow? I guess the writers were trying to give them names you wouldn't typically name your dogs and came out with this. So Tank and Snowplow get chased away by one of the guys working in the store they were planning to rob their trash from. And he almost gets run over by this truck right here. Pointless, child-friendly comedy? Afterwards, the two Muds talk about what it might be like to live with the humans.
Whoa, now there's the life, huh, Snowplow? Look, nice warm place to call home. 2 square meals a day. Cool.
Careful what you wish for, Tank. You have humans to deal with. Little ones. Kids, Tank. Bunch of rug monkeys crawling all over you when you're trying to sleep. I've seen a swarm of them cover a dog worse than fleas. You ought to be happy with what you got.
Sheesh, someone's a little anti-child. Who are you to talk about children like that if you've never actually lived with humans before, jerkwad? It's not their fault that when they get a pet they want to give it a lot of love and affection. They're just kids. These two end up getting captured by what I assume to be a French dog catcher in bum clothes. That's when they're thrown into the back of the dog catcher's car and we're introduced to 6 more dogs. And I like to think of them as a bunch of stereotypes and cliches.
Name's McGregor.
The British one.
This one's Cheech.
The Spanish one.
Yander's QT.
The only female. And wait, QT or Cutie? My god, what other wacky names will this movie give us? Also, subtle job on not giving us a hint that this is an indication of a love interest.
The boxer's Chester.
The rough and tough one.
There's Vetch.
The happy and energetic one. That's all I've got.
Hey, McGregor. Hey, McGregor. His name's no name.
His literal name is no name? Did the children of the writers come up with these dumbass names? Was that just, like, their chance for comedic popularity? Did they really think that naming someone with a name like that was going to be their shining moment? Christ, I think that's single-handedly the laziest name to give someone. What other name are you going to throw at us with your random name generator? Anyways, no name, for fuck's sakes, I can't believe I just said that, is the repetitive talker. I'm not even kidding. All of his lines consist of this.
Are we going home now, McGregor? Huh? Are we? Are we going home? Huh? Are we? Huh? So where we going now, McGregor? We going home? Huh? Are we going home finally? Huh? Are we? Are we home now? Huh? Is this home? Is it? Huh? Huh? Is it? Huh? Where are we going now, McGregor? Huh, McGregor? We going home? Are we? Huh? Huh? Are we? Huh?
Aye, my friend, that we are. He likes to think so, and we like to play along.
And considering you weren't whispering, he probably heard that, you a-hole. This is the equivalent of babysitting a child, and that kid constantly asks you the same question over and over again until your brain explodes, and you want to just smack him upside the head, but then you realize, oh yeah, that's just a kid, and you do your best to restrain yourself as hard as you can. And maybe it's just me, but for some reason his appearance also makes me picture him as the twitchy and unstable kind of person. It's kind of like the dog version of Tweak from South Park. Nah, it's probably my insane imagination being insane.
And so, the 2 dogs had now become 8.
Yeah, thank you, college professor. I never would have figured out basic math. Much appreciated. We are then taken to Santa's toy factory where his elves are doing their usual job of making several toys for all the little kitties. The leader in charge is this fellow named Buzz, who I swear looks like Uryu from Bleach if he dyed his hair white. And now, cue montage of the elves preparing for Santa's ride to give all the boys and girls their presents. While this montage is going on, I suppose this is the best time to talk about the animation. Well, all that needs to be said about it is that it's surprisingly good. I mean, it's nothing spectacular or something that someone needs to rave about, but for 2004 direct-to-movie standards, it's pretty neat. But if there's one thing I must comment on, it's that looking at certain moments in the movie, the animation repeats itself in unnecessary moments. Like this clip I'm showing you right here. This was the part where the first 2 dogs were introduced. Cut to 2 minutes later, and the same clip plays, but it's reversed. You'd think that would be the end of it, but no, it repeats a couple of more times. Like this scene here, where a clumsy elf named...
Sounded like Agnes Ann.
Oh, for God's sake, Agnes Ann? Agnes fucking Ann? Should we just give this movie the award for giving characters the stupidest and weirdest names ever? Forget it! Back on topic. She breaks one of the toys trying to put batteries in it when she's informed that batteries are not included with the toys, then it shows us this piece of animation, but it was shown to us a couple of minutes ago via montage. If there's one thing I can't stand, it's laziness. And I'm not trying to make a big deal out of this, but seeing some scenes where the animation repeats itself is the epitome of true laziness, and it just bothers me too much. So if you're annoyed with animation repeating itself, then get used to it, folks, cause you'll see it quite a couple of times. Another thing I should point out is that with the animal characters, sometimes they'll act anthropomorphic, and other times they'll just act like normal animals in the real world. They're like half anthro and half non-anthro, and it looks really awkward and confusing. Overall, the animation is good, but those 2 flaws I seriously needed to address. Alright, enough of my annoying complaining, back to the story at hand, because there's some bad news for the elves. All of the reindeer are sick and sneezing like crazy. That means only one thing. They've got the flu. But not just any flu.
Don't tell me it's the North Pole flu.
So basically, it's the flu, but in the North Pole. Kinda similar how there are dire bears in Canada. They're like every other bears out there except... dire.
Wait a minute. I've been through worse than this.
Is that so?
How did I do it?
That's good to hear at least. Since we're 10 minutes into this film, this is the first time we've seen you and all the other elves for that matter, and we'll be left curious as to what other situations you've been in.
And how did I do it? What did I have that nobody else had? I had stick-to-itiveness.
Oh yeah, I should point out, stick-to-itive is Buzz's catchphrase, and something in which sounds like some made-up word I would say. Get used to hearing that because you'll definitely hear a lot of it. So in the short amount of time that's left until Santa sets off, Buzz needs some assistance to find some reindeer. But since all the other elves are needed for emergencies and toy making and all that junk, the clumsy female elf Agnes Ann is the only one who can assist Buzz in his reindeer search. So the duo try their best to find some reindeer, but to no avail.
I'm not letting the big guy down. Oh, I know what they say behind my back. They say old Buzz is past his prime. They say it's time to hang up the elf hat and call it quits.
When did they say that? Last time I checked, I thought that they admired you and made a comment that you get, quote-unquote, the big bucks. Are you just pulling that out of your ass to find something to complain about because you have no luck with your reindeer search? If not, then this movie has a serious issue with repeating animation and not doing a good job on explaining Jack.
I still got fight in me. I'll make 'em see. My glasses. I can't see.
I'll get him. Oh!
What was that? Tell me that wasn't my glasses.
Coming back to the dogs, the dog catcher, Pierre Laronde, is preparing for a circus act with the dogs that he captured. I wish that I was making that up, but it's true. So in other words, this guy is a dog catcher slash circus manager or some shit like that. Don't believe me? Check it out.
Ladies and gentlemen, children young and old, welcome to Pierre Laurent's traveling circus. Tonight, the most daring feat in all history, the heart-pounding, show-stopping, flaming leap of death.
Hey, that's your cue, homeboys.
I'm not making no leap of death, flaming or otherwise.
Oh, Mr. Pierre can be awful persuasive when he wants to. So...
Hold it. The narrator said that there's now 8 dogs, but there's this dog right here who happens to be the one dog that Pierre fellow seems to spoil by not locking him up with the other 8 dogs. So in other words, there's our 9th dog. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's the 9th dog. Are you not including him and ignoring him for a reason, Mr. Narrator? Did that dog do something terrible to you or something? If you're trying to make the reveal of the 9th dog a surprise, then this movie just ruined it, and I don't think it's fooling anyone anytime soon. So after the lame, embarrassing circus act goes rock bottom and Pierre tries to rack up some more customers, Buzz and Agnes Ann just so happen to arrive at the scene at hand. Now, prepare yourselves. You'll definitely facepalm yourselves here. I hope your faces are ready to hit one of your hands because I assure you this will be an ultimate facepalm moment. Alright, play the scene.
Pierre Can you read it, Agnes Ann?
I would if I could, but I can't read.
Miss? Ma'am? What's that say?
That says Rond, dear.
Reindeer. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome, dear.
And prepare for facepalm number 2.
How many are in there?
I don't know. 8 or...
Perfect.
But, I don't know if these really are,
Of course they are, I think. They are a little small, and the colors are kind of funny, but they're reindeer, all right.
Well, if the boss says so, then reindeer they are.
Now, look, I'm really trying my best not to find a problem every few minutes and drag on and on about what's wrong with certain moments, but a film like this is making it harder for me to not complain about scenes like this. First of all, I can understand Buzz not being able to read the sign since his glasses broke and he can't see, but why can't Agnes Ann read it, or anything for that matter? Is she like 3J from Family Matters where she made it to this point in her life without being able to read? Second, how can you possibly think that Rond and reindeer sound the same? Aside from the R in the end in those words, they sound nothing alike. And lastly, how can both of these imbeciles look at these 8 dogs here and mistake them for reindeer? Even with Buzz's inability to see anything without his glasses, both him and the ditzy, clumsy female should notice the big differences between a dog and a reindeer. Those 2 animals look nothing alike. These 2 should seriously be demoted to working for the Santa Claus in that one Family Guy Christmas special. Just never hire them to help you find your lost pets. So the 2 elves borrow the car and the dog, saving them from Frenchie here. He then buys a sleigh, making his French dog do all the work pulling the thing so that he can try and steal the dogs back. On the way back to Santa, we actually get, here's a surprise, sorta, kinda character development.
So what's your story? Runaway? Kicked out? Why'd you leave home?
Oh, I never had much of a home. You see, me and Snowplow, we've been on the streets since, well, going on forever, I guess. Well, we get by. Snowplow, he gets us out of all kinds of scrapes.
I had a home once. A great house, fireplace, big dog bed with deep red cushions. They decided to move, but they couldn't take me with them. Too much trouble, I guess.
Well, that really stinks, huh?
I'll find another home. Someday. We all will.
And here comes an incredibly pointless and extremely lousy song as these two make goo-goo eyes and uncomfortable grins at each other.
To fall in love this time of year, I'm feeling
Ugh, never make that face for the rest of your life.
takes forever. Only a heartbeat.
Oh, good gracious! Never do that ever again either! Come on, guys. This is a kids' movie. Keep it clean. Boy, howdy. This is probably one of the strangest big-lipped alligator moments you'll ever see in your life, as these two have a vision of living together and even having a kid of their own. All of this from just one conversation between them. Because that's the meaning of true love, isn't it? Love at first sight? No, it's not. That's freaking idiotic. So Buzz and Agnes Ann arrive back at home, only to be disappointed that these so-called reindeer are canines. Oh, and Buzz gets another pair of glasses, which was pointed out that he had during their drive back. So, Buzz Elfyear, how are you going to get yourself out of this little predicament?
Of course they look like dogs, cause they are. Dogs don't get reindeer flu. If I brought reindeer, they'd just get sick. Come on, you guys, you know old Buzz is smarter than that.
Oh, yeah.
Don't know what we was thinking, Mr. Buzz.
Jeez, just like that? They would probably catch that little lie in the blink of an eye. But hey, whatever it'll take to get Santa on his sleigh ride to deliver the presents, I suppose. So now we go into a training montage so that the dogs can learn how to fly. It's as boring and goes not so well as you'd assume. Afterwards, they treat the dogs to their own private place to sleep. Unfortunately, Pierre Leron somehow got all the way to the factory with one sleigh and one dog. You figure this one out. So he builds a cage with some of the supplies he got, and once the dogs are sound asleep, him and the other dog are able to kidnap every single one of them without waking them up. Call me crazy, but don't dogs immediately wake up when they detect the slightest bit of movement that wasn't functioned by them? Because of all the times I tried to move my dogs without startling them or waking them up, I was 100% unsuccessful. I guess this guy has been practicing on his Metal Gear Solid and Sly Cooper stealth skills for most of his spare time to be able to pull this off. Or these dogs are just happy to actually live in a comfortable place and not have a care in the world whether something's moving them or not. So now the elves are back to square one. They don't have anyone to move Santa's sleigh, and time's running out as he's about to head out. But that might change as Agnes Ann spots some dog prints and some footprints. She hesitates to try and rescue them at first, but she decides to be like Buzz and stick-to-itive.
I'll find him if it's the last thing I do. Woo! And it just may be the last thing I do.
So along his trip to literally nowhere, Pierre spots a wanted dog poster which will pay him for each dog. And being a cliched greedy person that he is, enters the place that's looking for dogs to buy. Alright, so far we've got someone with a Spanish accent, French accent, British accent, and almost every single character archetype in a children's movie cliche dictionary. What do we have now?
You wouldn't be looking to sell a dog team, would you? Maybe. You looking to buy? Maybe. Name's Tiny.
A child human beast boy with a stereotypical mafia gangsta Joyzy accent? Ugh, I don't even know anymore. I'm just as stunned and dazed as the rest of you. I think all these goddamn accents and stereotypes are making my brain go numb. The two then decide to make things interesting by gambling. The best way to lose all your money. The dogs seem to be at their limit, however, as the cold, chilly weather is getting to them.
My teeth are chattering.
Mine ain't. On account of my mouth's froze shut. We don't get this kind of weather where I come from.
Hey, hold it up, Fetch, me boy. Me? I got one thing to say.
Yes? Okay, that's not saying something. Howling is an action. Look up the differences in a dictionary if you can read. Looks like it's a good thing that they're howling, since Agnes Ann hears the cries for help and seems to be close by.
Quit your belly aching, why don't you? So where is that dumb gringo
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. You want to run that by me one more time? So their gambling consists of a game of darts. Interesting choice.
Okay, first bullseye. My cash against your 8 dogs. What do you say we raise the stakes? Just a little. Assuming you got something to put up.
I can throw in the sled.
What else?
The lousy lead mutt. He'll be fine working your mine. That makes 9 dogs. That's all I've got.
Yep, I called it. I knew it all along. Also, smart choice on selling everything you own, dumb cluck. Now how do you expect to travel out in this snowy weather, dumbass?
Personally, I think you're a fucking idiot.
So the small bastard beats the French dummy by distracting him saying that his shoe is untied, staring at it far too long than a normal human being should, and sticks the dart into the center. Fucking cheating piece of shit. The French dog runs away, I don't blame him in the slightest, and just so happens to run into Agnes Ann, whom he's able to save from a polar bear and leads her to where the other dogs are.
Honest, I don't know what's become of the little mutt. I swear on me mother's machete.
Okay, I'll take the 8 of them. Where's the key? I ain't got all night. Hurry it up, will ya?
I'm hurrying fast as I can.
Little tip here, it's probably best that you keep them in the cage and don't unlock it, moron. You don't have any kind of weapon, and it's 2 against 8. You're outmatched here, buddy. Or, you know, the one dog could attack you, which leads to all the other dogs who captured you to escape, resulting in you falling down a snowy mountain onto some ice in the water, floating you away.
Oh, forgot to use your brain there.
Aloha, boss. Don't forget to send a postcard.
And now there were 9 dogs.
There always were 9 dogs the minute you showed the 9th dog early before this point in the movie even happened, you goddamn motherfudging idiot! Agnes Ann and the dogs are able to make it on time for Santa to make his trip across the world delivering presents. Buzz throws some Tinkerbell dust on them so that they're able to fly. So they go from house to house and country to country delivering presents for all the good people in the world. He even gives the dogs their own homes. Okay, I'll give this movie this much credit that it's nice that these dogs finally got homes of their own even though they're not that fleshed out. And even if Snowplow said some negative things about living with humans, but after all that's happened to him in this movie, he probably wouldn't mind having a family. But Santa just gave away his transportation. How's he going to get back to the elves?
Yo, Santa, got a sleigh problem?
Whoa, doesn't matter till next year.
Luck must seriously be on his side big time then. And with that, the movie's over. That was 9 Dog Christmas, everyone, a movie that's forgettable and rare for a good reason. You can really tell that it's made for children and only children. It shares the fate as most direct-to-video movies out there. And the painful fanfiction-like writing, bland and uninteresting characters, horrible villain, if you can even call him that, unbelievably offensive stereotypes, and incredibly short length of the film doesn't help either. Why do I bring up the length of the film? Well, would you believe me if I said that this movie is 56 minutes long? If you said no, then I wish I was in the same boat as you, but it's true. No joke, the film is almost exactly 1 hour long, while most films would be like an hour and a half long, or even 2 hours long. So with the length of this movie in mind, along with the big cast of characters they're throwing at us and the simple plot, there's not much time to actually give the dogs, elves, and villain an identity aside from the cliched archetypes. The movie just goes by in a blink of an eye and there's nothing fun or intriguing about it. I suppose that if you want to show this film to your children, there's no harm done, seeing as how it's bluntly obvious for the younglings only. But if you wanted a Christmas movie to watch no matter the age, you're not going to get it here. Much like most direct-to-DVD movies, it's just a boring, unknown movie. Christmas related or not. Well, that's that. With all this said and done, I'm the Hedgehog Ninja, and from the bottom of my heart, I hope you all have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Enjoy the holidays, and I'll see you all in 2016 with an unoriginal and traditional countdown topic.